exercising a muscle, it makes it stronger. The pelvic floor are like any other muscle in the body. If you exercise them correctly, you will make them stronger. To strengthen them, you need to tighten them, but you need to relax them also properly. It is not all about strength. If a muscle doesn't relax properly, you can never work it as effectively as it should. So to start practicing pelvic floor muscles, sit in a comfortable upright position with your feet on the floor. Jo is going to be our model for this. Now you can't see Jo doing her pelvic floor as they are internal muscles, and if she is doing them correctly, then you won't know if she is doing them or not. However, we can see if there are cues that Jo is doing that might show that she isn't doing them correctly. So start by squeezing around your back passage as though you want to stop yourself passing wind. Then bring that squeeze feeling forwards toward your pubic bone. Now relax. So again, squeeze around the back passage and bring that feeling forward. Now, see if you can lift that squeeze feeling up inside your vagina as though you're going up in a lift. Now hold for 5 seconds. And then relax the muscle down slowly. If you couldn't feel any relaxation of the pelvic floor, then you're probably holding it for too long. If this is the case, try holding for 2 to 3 seconds, or less if needed. The important thing here is that you're feeling an active contraction. That this might not be a big lift, it might just be a little feeling of something tightening. And then you want to feel an active relaxation afterwards. If 5 seconds felt okay for you, then you might be able to hold for longer. Remember, we must be able to feel it actively relax at the end. Ultimately, we're aiming for 10-second hold, but this might take some months to achieve. Once you've worked out how long you can comfortably hold the pelvic floor contraction for, then it's time to repeat it. For example, if you can hold it comfortably for 5 seconds, then repeat another pelvic floor contraction for 5 seconds again. Make sure you rest for 2 to 3 seconds between each exercise. You can do this up to 10 times. However, as soon as you feel tired or you don't feel like you can feel the relaxation well again, it's time to stop. This might only be 2 to 3 repetitions. It doesn't matter. It's about what is right for your body and the best way to strengthen your pelvic floor. We are all different. So to recap, we need to work out how many seconds you can hold for and how many times you can repeat that before you get tired. After these, give yourself a couple of minutes rest and then try some quick squeezes. Rather than hold your pelvic floor, try just pulling your pelvic floor up as described, but don't hold it, then just relax it back down. You're just pulling up and then relaxing. And repeat this up to 10 times. Now we're going to look at a few things to look out for whilst you're doing your pelvic floor exercises. When you tighten around your back passage, it should just be that feeling like you're trying to stop yourself passing wind. You shouldn't be squeezing your big bottom muscles that make you lift off the chair. If Jo now just tightens around her back passage, you don't see any movement. If she tightens too hard and brings in her bigger bottom muscles, her glutes, then you see her lift off from the chair. If you find you are lifting up from the chair, then just slow down and focus on you stopping the feeling of passing wind. Don't try to hold it or count repetitions, just practice this gentle squeeze and relax until you feel more comfortable with this sensation. Similarly, you shouldn't get any big abdominal movement either. Unfortunately, this isn't the exercise that will give you a six-pack, and we don't want these bigger muscles taking over from our pelvic floor as they won't help with incontinence or prolapse. You may feel a little tightening of the lower abdominals just where Jo has her hands, but you shouldn't be able to see any tummy movement, especially when you have your clothes on. If you watch Jo again, you can't see any tummy movement. However, if she overworks her abdominals, you will see this movement. Again, if you struggle with this, then just slow down, stop the counting and focus on not pulling too hard. Finally, a very common mistake people make when they try to do their pelvic floor is to hold their breath. Our diaphragm is a muscle at the bottom of your lungs that moves up and down as we breathe. By holding your breath, you stop the diaphragm from moving. Try to keep your breath calm as you do your pelvic floor exercises. If you struggle with this, start by breathing in and then start your pelvic floor exercise as you breathe out. Relax your pelvic floor as you breathe back in and repeat this until you feel more comfortable with your breathing. Then try to keep your pelvic floor held as you breathe in and out. We've taught you how to do your pelvic floor exercises in sitting. Most people find this the easiest position, but you might find other positions easier or harder. Try doing them in lying. You could do these on your side, or you could do them on your back with your legs straight or your knees bent. Also bear in mind to try your pelvic floor in positions where you find you're having symptoms. For instance, if you find it easy to do pelvic floor in bed, but you're struggling with incontinence in standing or walking, then try practicing your pelvic floor in this position. You might find standing is harder and you can't hold for as long or do as many repetitions, but it will be a more functional position for you. To finish, the NICE guidelines tell us that we should be doing these exercises 3 times a day. This is what they found from the research that gives the best results. The exercises shouldn't take you more than a few minutes each day. This doesn't seem like much, but they're boring and so it's easy to forget. So today, work out a way how you're best going to remember when you're going to do them. There are various apps you can download on your phone. NHS Squeezy is a good one, but there are various ones out there and some of them are free. I've given you quite a lot of information in this last video, so you might find it useful to re-watch it a few times. But to recap, squeeze your pelvic floor from your back passage and bring that feeling forwards and upwards. Try to hold and make sure you can relax it off afterwards. Repeat this until you get tired, a maximum of 10 times. Have a short break and try some quick squeezes, aiming for 10 if you can manage. Vary your position you try them in and do these 3 times a day.